It's the one and only Just Cat. Hey, welcome to another episode of Patrick Just Cat Gavin podcast. I have a wonderful guest here with me today, and she's going to share her story, her senior year, and it's coming around pretty well. It's a couple weeks out, ain't it?
It is. Yeah.
So I'll let you introduce yourself.
My name is Emma Kilgore. I'm a senior at Houston High School, and I'm about to graduate on May 21st.
Oh God, golly, Emma, I've been around you for a long time right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Emma, let's get to it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you just said Emma Kilgore, Houston High School. So tell mom, dad, sisters.
So I have wonderful parents, Jordan and Serena Kilgore, and then I have two younger sisters. I have Mary Ferris, who's 8. She's in 3rd grade.
Oh, Mary Ferris.
I have Rena Claire. She's 13.
Oh, okay.
And she's in 7th grade.
Gotcha.
My parents grew up in Houston. Their parents grew up in Houston, so deep roots here.
I gotcha.
Cheerleader, ran cross country and all the things. Very active. Go to church at Arbor Grove, where my mom grew up going to church. So deep roots there.
Gotcha.
Through her grandparents were there and things like that. So yeah.
Wow. You know what? You said something about deep roots. You have a deep rooted faith also.
Yes.
And you never shy away from that. And
No.
I like that about you. And that's the reason I brought you on my show, because so many kids they don't want to show their faith in God.
Correct. Yeah.
It's like, not that I'm saying they're ashamed of God. Some of them just don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what you know.
Yeah.
And you have real deep faith in God. And so the first question I have for you, how have your senior year shaped the perspective on your life before stepping into college?
Well, I will tell you this. It's changed my perspective on what I want to do and that type of thing. Senior year, I walked in and I was going back and forth on kind of where I wanted to go career-wise. I have a deep love for law and history and that type of thing. But I had also, since about junior year, had an interest in ultrasound and x-ray and things. And so throughout my senior year, I've been able to work part-time at a law firm. And then also, I was telling you earlier, I just finished an internship at the hospital.
Good deal.
And so I was able to see both careers and see what was truly both careers entailed, talk to people that have been in, both careers a long time, what schooling was like and where they went and that type of thing. And so it's really helped me figure out where I want to go. And then also throughout my senior year, I've gotten an offer to cheer at Northeast, and I've signed, committed to Northeast to cheer.
Let's go.
And so it's changed a lot about, where I'm going and what my next step is in life and where I want to end up.
I don't know you know this or not. I'm in the healthcare field, but I sell medical equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes someone special to be in the healthcare field. Just because a lot of people want to go into just any kind of career is all about money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hold up. Don't get me wrong. I need you to make money. Because that's what makes life so much better is money. But you got to have a compassion for it, because it's a thing called burnout.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a lot of money, but you will burn out. But I think you have the heart for it, because like I said, once again, I'm a constantly keep talking about your faith in God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting choked up. But so I think you made a good choice, and now law, that's a whole nother chapter. You can make a lot of money in that also. But I think the healthcare field is a great field for you. So second question. When did you first feel a sense of purpose or faith when you was, through your high school years?
Well, I think for me, it honestly started a lot younger, just because I had that deep faith, because like I said, I grew up in the church that my mom grew up in. And so my parents are super duper involved in church. So, my faith and, Christianity and that type of thing, it was what I was brought into. And so I actually got saved when I was about 6.
Oh, wow.
But I will say that my faith grew a lot deeper once I got into high school, especially I would say about my sophomore year. Freshman and sophomore year, I struggled a lot with, trying to find my identity, trying to find my purpose. And you look for that in other things and what other people say about you. And even though I knew, like I knew I was saved, I knew where, what Christ said out,
Mhm.
like who I was in Christ, I don't feel like I truly started believing that and grew my faith deeper until about my sophomore year. And I will say that it has grown a lot more since then. I've learned to rely on Him fully. And I worry a lot. I'm a big worrier.
I never would have thought that about you. No, I never would have
I
thought that.
stress. And so I will tell you that, especially a lot this year, I've learned to trust the Lord a lot more, just between trying to figure out where I was going to school and that type of thing. I finally, I'm not going to say I'm perfect at it, but I've
That's all right.
learned that He really does have a plan and that He really does, have it all worked out. And I've had to realize that nothing I can do will mess that up.
Mhm.
If I'm following what He wants, if I'm in His word and I'm, trying to do what's best, it'll be easier. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, His plan will always work out. And I think that's something that I've had to learn over high school, is that He has it worked out, and I just have to trust Him.
Wow. That's kind of good. Wow. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Oh, wow. Some 48-year-olds don't have faith like that. Good night. That is awesome. What moment in your senior year that you saw cheer in your faith kind of intersect together?
A lot, actually,
Gotcha.
And honestly, I would say that it started happening, before my senior year. I would say that it started happening a good bit. I had a really, I would say, a rough practice. There was a time that I had, because cheer is my passion. It's always been my passion ever since I was a little girl. I just wanted to be a cheerleader.
Oh, wow.
and and so when I made cheer, it kind of became my identity. If you knew me, you knew I was a cheerleader, and you knew how much
Facts.
I loved it.
Mhm.
And I feel like I really let that kind of become an idol in my life. And I put a lot of my identity, like I said, into being, a flyer, because that was my position, and being the best. And so when I had this rough practice, I hadn't, hit like I wanted to. And it was a really kind of stressful practice. And I had a comment made, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And it wasn't even that big of a comment, but it was one of those
It's
that just
enough.
kind of
Mhm.
sits with you. And it was during the summer, and so football season and things like that hadn't started, and I just got to where I didn't want to talk about cheer. I didn't want to think about it. And my mom and I are super duper close, and she was a cheerleader in high school, so it's always been something that we talk about. She's
Mhm.
really involved in the cheer program. And so I remember like her bringing it up and me just looking at her and being like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about cheer. And I think that was a big shock to her too, because, it
Mm.
was like she loves this so much. And it was over that summer, we went through dead weeks. We didn't practice much more. And it hit me that, it can be a passion, but it can't be an idol. And, my identity's not found in who I am as a cheerleader. And I think the Lord used that moment to kind of work on me and say, hey, like, remember, your identity's in me and who I say you are, not really
Right.
in how good of a cheerleader you are, how good you are as a flyer. And so I really think that He used that moment to teach me that, because I truly believe that He's placed me where I am to be a light for Him. And I think He used that moment to teach me, like, I gave you this platform, I gave you this passion to be a light for me and to share my love and to share, who I am, because I've met so many people through
Mhm.
cheer, and I want them to see Him through me. And I think that helped me, because I got an offer this year. And
Congrats.
I just, because He gave me that, I think had I not realized that, had I continued to be an idol with me, I don't think that He would have given me that opportunity, because at the end of the day, my purpose here on earth is to be a light for Him, not to just be a cheerleader. I think He gave me that to be a light and to share His love. And so, I'm truly, truly, incredibly thankful that He gave me the passion and the
Mhm.
ability, because I can use that to be a light for Him. So I think it was taking
Wow.
that attitude throughout my senior year, and because, seniors are looked at as the leader and things like that.
Yes.
My goal this year, and I hope I did a good job of it, is to be, that Christian influence, that positive influence on, the younger girls, and now to the girls at Northeast, because I'm meeting so many new people, and I'm meeting other cheerleaders, and I want them to say, hey, like, I see Jesus in her. And I think that is what God has taught me through cheer.
Wow. As you was talking, you kept saying being the light, and you remind me of a lighthouse.
Thank you.
You draw people to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Tell me about your Northeast experience. How was that feeling when you got the offer?
It was actually very, very surreal. It took a while for it to honestly set in, and honestly, I don't think it's fully set in, completely, like, hey, like, I actually get to do this, and I even have like parts of the uniform and things like that already. Yeah. But it was definitely probably one of the biggest blessings in my life. It's something I thank the Lord for it every day, just because I really do love it, and I'm so incredibly grateful that I get to do it. It is a dream come true, and there was a point in time, where I had kind of given up, that it wasn't really in the cards for me to go to the next level and to do that. And going back to my mom, I'm so incredibly thankful she continued to push, just what about, Northeast? What about this? And continue to push me to work for it, because I can kind of be complacent in things. And I think, had my mama not been there to push me and things like that, and to support me and drive me to different clinics and drive me to the extra practices, and, guide me and teach me everything I know about cheer,
I love it.
And I think that it's such a surreal moment, and I'm truly grateful for it. Yeah.
That's my next question, and I was going to ask you, who's the biggest cheerleader in your life?
I would definitely say that's my mama.
Gotcha.
And my dad. He's
I'm leaving my boy Jordan.
I never have to wonder, are they going to be there? Are they going to support me? Are they going to, I always know they're going to be in my corner. They're going to be pushing me to be the best I can, and they're going to be proud of me no matter what.
That's awesome.
And I'm truly, truly grateful for both of them, and the amount of work and time that they've put in and pushed me to do. I know they've driven many, many miles, and they have many more miles to drive, because I have two little sisters.
Oh, yeah, God, yeah.
And one of them I know has a passion. Rena Claire has just as big of a passion for cheer as I do. She does. She loves it, and she's really, really talented. So they'll have more miles to drive, I know. But they're definitely, and my sister's a big supporter too. Both of them, they love me. And
oh yeah, that baby sister, yeah.
She does.
She's a handful. She's gonna keep me young. Golly.
Yeah, she's a lot. She's a lot of fun.
So today I actually got a text a few minutes ago. So what's special about today? Who have a special day today?
Today is my mom's birthday.
How old is she?
She is 76 today.
Wow, that's a blessing. Wow. Yeah. That is truly a blessing. Yeah. Wow.
She's also a huge cheerleader who's driven many miles, and she's been a very godly influence in my life. I made a post about her this morning, and that was one of the main things, was how much she loves her family and how much she has been a godly influence in my life. She's taught or helped teach a Sunday school class for as long as I can remember, and she's always said, I'm so thankful for my big family, and that she has,
That's awesome.
We eat supper with them on Sunday nights, and it's a hectic sometimes, but it's a lot of fun, and she's such a hardworking person, and she loves very, very much. And
she's 76.
She is.
Age did her well. I did not know she was 76.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, did her well. Looking good. Looking good. How do you stay focused? Seriously, I know you said you are worried a little bit, but how do you balance all that?
It's not easy. I will tell you, senioritis has hit this last semester.
Really? I know that happened. Oh God, yeah.
But I would say having a good support, having friends that are just as focused, and having, parents that stay on, making sure that I'm focused. But I will tell you, having a good, godly friend group that's just as focused, people like Vanity, who is also just as focused and has goals, and dreams. It's easier to stay focused when you have those people that are focused just like you are. But it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of time, and to stay focused and to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I like that. So anybody watching this, make sure you have a good friend group.
Yes.
Please have a good friend group at the end of the day, because I think it's an old saying, say, if you want to see where someone going, look who they hang around.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be honest with Vanity and the rest of the girls. I know a lot of y'all, and just to see your group together, it's major. And y'all are going places. Ain't no doubt in my mind about that, And I just pray to the good Lord that I'll be able to see it and witness it. Y'all can pay our money back a little bit, all the, trips that we took. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
If you can do it all over again, knowing what you know right now, you're senior, what advice would you give yourself?
Stop and smell the roses. It is the end, and it feels like I just started. We us group, of friends, us that are about to graduate, we keep saying we don't feel like seniors. We still feel like the sophomores or whatever. And it's so stop and enjoy the moment. Don't worry about this stuff, because it's gonna work itself out. It's gonna take care of itself. So you got to enjoy the moment before it's gone. Like I've finished up senior prom, so the next steps are senior walk this Friday, and then awards night and graduation. So take it in and enjoy it, because nobody believes it, but it truly does go by faster than you expect. So stop and smell the roses. Don't worry about it. Don't focus too much on what do I have next? What do I have next? Enjoy the moments you're in, even the stressful ones, even the the ones that you're a little bit overwhelmed. Enjoy those moments, because you don't. They're quickly passing us by.
You're right, and people. I tell people this all the time. You have 24 hours in the day, and this is how I break it down: 8 hours to work, 8 hours for recreation, 8 hours to sleep. But to be honest with you, none of us getting 8 hours worth of sleep, and of course, none of us getting 8 hours worth of recreation, as I say. But we work, and school is work. It is.
Yeah.
And so, I think you did a good job of balancing that.
Thank you.
Some good choices you have made. I don't know the bad choices, but I know the good choices. So that's all I see, and that's all I want to see. But congrats to you. Moving into your college career, how do you hope to grow both spiritually and athletic?
Well, I hope to grow my tumbling, number one. I think that's my biggest athletic, because I've always had a mental block when it comes to tumbling and things like that. So I'm hoping that I can grow that. And then spiritually, I just hope that I can be bolder in my faith, and I want to just, like I said earlier, I want to be that light. I want people, when they meet me and they talk to me, I want them to hear Jesus' name. I want them to, see his light, and I want that to, and I just want to honestly grow closer to him. I want my prayer life to grow, and I think that comes through trusting him, and I think that comes through the battles. I think that's where your faith grows.
Gotcha. What do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You ever thought about that?
In the next 5 years, I definitely hope to be continuing my education. So I plan to get an X-ray radiology degree at Northeast. So that'll take about 3 years. And so in the next 5, I hope to be graduating with my 4-year degree from UMMC in radiology.
Okay.
Yeah.
UMMC. That's in
Jackson.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I knew that. What I'm thinking. But what advice can you give to get past that, like you said, that mental block?
I think for me, it'll be trusting myself. It comes down to, I don't truly believe I can do it. So I have to learn how to believe in myself when it comes to my tumbling and that mental block. I think a lot of that comes from thinking in my head that I'm never going to get it. But I think I have to grow my confidence in myself and my ability before I can get over that mental block.
I got you. Let me ask you this. Here's another question. I talk to a lot of kids, you know that,
Mm-hmm.
and young adults, as you want to say, teenagers. And I'm finding lately kids are now have this thing called burnout. Do you think that kids are starting to just say competitive cheer or basketball, football, baseball, all these, they start at such a young age. And now that kids get the opportunity, just say go to the next level. Now they're like, man, I don't want to do it. Why is that the case? Because you at that age, you 18,
Mm-hmm.
and of course you're not in that category because that's what you want to do to go to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you know some people that probably like, I don't really want to play sports anymore. So how do you get past that? What advice can you give to that person that's feeling that?
I mean, I think that if you're really passionate about it, I think you should go for it. I think that we're only this age once. We only get these
Mm,
opportunities once or twice, and I think you take that opportunity if it presents yourself. And I think that burnout is a big thing, because we do start so young. I
mm.
think that I think back to, if I had started competitive cheer probably, as, like these 3-year olds that are
Oh
doing it,
yeah, it's young.
of course they're probably burnt out by the time they get to high school because they've done it their entire life. They want to see what else is out there. But I think if you have the opportunity to go to the next level, I think you should take it because, someday you're going to not have that opportunity. And I think you should take the opportunity while you're young.
With all that being said, I met a gentleman the other day. He was 80 years old. 80, you hear me? 80. He said, "Hey, how are you doing?" I said, "Spoke or whatever." And I said, "I'm great." He said, did you play football or basketball, baseball?" I said, "I played football in high school and college." He said, "Really?" And he was telling me that when he went to the University of Auburn, so when he was playing, I think he said they only had two quarterbacks. He was the third string, and the coach told him to, "Hey, why don't you go to a school, go to East Mississippi in Scuba?" You ever been to Scuba before? It's nothing in Scuba.
Yeah.
No disrespect to you, Scuba, but it's nothing in Scuba. And the guy said, "Yeah, sure, I go." So he went down there, and he said, "I don't like this," and he quit. With all that being said, this man is 80 years old, still have regrets of quitting.
Mm.
And I like the advice that you get because you only get it one time. Just like high school, you can't go back to high school. Once you graduate, it's over. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can go back to college,
Yeah.
but you, yeah. Of course, I went back once well, long story short, when I quit college and I had to go back, it took me 20 years to go back and get my degree.
Wow.
Yes. So that's why I'm so big on telling kids. That's why I try to encourage and not motivate, just tell them real life story. This happened to me. And so now that 80-year-old man was like, when he told me that, I was like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, God, Lee, I hope I don't be having that same thought when I get his age.
Hmm.
But I'm glad you said that because I see that a lot. I see it a lot. And I want these kids to understand. Just so you get that one shot, you better take it.
Yeah.
Because once it passes you up, it's over with.
Yeah.
Because look at me, I mean, we'll talk about that later. We winding it up. So, how do you want to be remembered by your high school peers and your teammates?
Well, first and foremost, for my faith, and how it drove me throughout high school and how it pushed me to be the person I am. But I want them to remember me, hopefully by the person that was kind and that was focused and driven and achieved their goals and somebody that they can truly say, "Oh, I'm proud of them." I want to be like them. I want to have, the faith they have. I want to, achieve the goals like they achieved theirs, whatever that is.
I like that. I like that. What advice would you give? I just say my vanity. It's just her senior year is this fall, and y'all been around each other a lot. I mean, it been some late nights, some long practice. So, what advice, not only just Vanity, any kids that's out there going to listen to this, what advice would you give them coming up for their senior year, or just period? What advice would you give a kid, especially a cheerleader?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a cheerleader, so I mean, I'm partial to that. So, what advice would you give them?
Well, for Vanity, I would tell her to enjoy it.
Mm.
I would tell them to keep working hard and don't stop chasing your dreams just because it gets hard. Keep working at it because you never know what opportunity is out there. And if you really want it that hard, work for it, and but also enjoy the moments, because you don't realize how quickly, the practices are over, even the tough ones. You don't realize how quickly the competitions are over and the football games. There's nothing like cheering on a Friday night under the lights and things like that with your best friends. Even the long drives and things like that. Those are some of my most favorite memories, are the bus rides with my best friends, because my best friends truly are some of my best friends are cheerleaders, and I've gotten to cheer with that, and I'm so incredibly thankful for those opportunities. So definitely, just keep working hard, do it all for God's glory, because I would give up if it was just for me. I would, give up, and but push for your younger self, the one that had the dream, the little girl in the uniform in the stands that thinks you're the coolest person in the world,
They
and
do.
and do it for the glory of God.
Wow.
And enjoy every moment. So
Every moment.
yeah.
Well, it's been an honor and a privilege for you to sit down in that green chair. And I tell anybody, and then everybody that comes in this year, you special to me. Because I feel like people need to hear this. Because you started with no offers from cheer, and all of a sudden, bam, it happened. So anybody watching this, don't ever give up, ever. Because you are a prime example. You're going to cheer at Northeast Community College in Boonville, Mississippi, for those who don't know where it's at. But that is a major accomplishment for you. And shout out to your parents for pushing you.
Yes.
Yeah, I always knew you had great parents. They cool too. I had to say that because I'm counting that age. So, but anyway, but it's one thing I would tell you this. But keep being you. Don't ever let nobody put that dim your light. Please don't, because you have a bright, bright future. And I hate to not hate to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you this: you got little sisters that's looking up to you. So you don't set the bar so that what they're gonna do is set it even higher. So that's awesome. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'm so thankful to just be a part of your journey. And hopefully, this message get out to someone they just truly believe in themselves.
Yeah.
You are a true testament of what faith can do, and having a good supporting cast. So
Yes.
with all that, anything else you would like to add? You sure? Any shout outs you want to give to anybody out there?
Just to my mom and dad, really.
Gotcha.
Being the support that I've always needed.
Mom and dad, shout out to y'all once again. But it's been on, like I said, been honored and the privilege to be in your presence. Always remember this: you don't have to be great to get started, but you need to get started to be great. You have truly got started.
Thank you.
So Emma Kilgore, I see you in the future, and I definitely see you at the top. Until next time, y'all, it's the one and only. Just can't.